I intend to fight.
Kamala Harris, a trailblazer in American politics. Kamala Devi Harris, currently the Vice President of the United States, is a unique figure in American political history, both celebrated and controversial. From her roots as the daughter of immigrants to becoming the highest-ranking female official in U.S. history, Harris has shattered barriers and inspired millions. Yet, her journey has also been marked by fierce criticism, challenging questions about her political consistency, and speculation about her future ambitions. This comprehensive profile explores her background, personal life, career, controversies, policy stances, and her potential to shape the future of American governance. Family roots and cultural heritage. Kamala Harris was born on October 20, 1964, in Oakland, California, to Shamala Gopalan and Donald Harris. Her parents' story is an emblem of the American immigrant experience. Shyamala Gopalan emigrated from Chennai, India, in the early 1960s to pursue a doctorate in endocrinology and breast cancer research at the University of California, Berkeley. She was an accomplished scientist and a proud advocate for civil rights, values she instilled deeply in her two daughters, Kamala and Maya. Shyamala passed away in 2009, but her influence remains pivotal in Kamala's life. Shyamala once famously told her daughters, "I may be raising you as black girls, but you will grow up to be confident, proud black women." Donald Harris, an economist from Jamaica, also came to the United States to further his studies. He eventually became a professor of economics at Stanford University. His approach to parenting, though different from Shyamala's, instilled a respect for academic excellence and a passion for policy. Although Kamala's parents divorced when she was just 7, both remained present in her life, though her connection with her father was less central during her teenage years. Kamala's parents took her to civil rights rallies and introduced her to discussions on justice and equality from a young age. Her multicultural background and her exposure to activism would lay the groundwork for her future career in public service, education and the formative years. Kamala's education played a significant role in shaping her. In a time when desegregation efforts were still contentious, she attended Thousand Oaks Elementary School, a diverse and inclusive institution that participated in the Berkeley Public Schools Integration program. This experience taught Kamala early lessons in unity and social justice. At age 12, Kamala and her sister Maya moved to Montreal, Canada, with their mother, who had taken a research position at McGill University. Kamala attended Westmount High School, where she quickly became known for her outgoing personality and leadership potential. Her high school experience in Canada would make her one of the few high-profile American politicians with an international upbringing. For her undergraduate education, Kamala chose Howard University, a historically black university in Washington, D.C. Howard profoundly influenced her worldview, giving her a deeper appreciation of her heritage and the importance of black leadership. Kamala was actively involved in campus life, joining Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, one of the oldest black sororities, and engaging in student government. After graduating with a degree in political science and economics, Kamala returned to California to attend law school at UC Hastings in San Francisco, starting her legal career. After passing the California bar in 1990, Kamala began her legal career as a deputy district attorney in Alameda County, California. This was the start of her journey through the ranks of the legal and political spheres. She focused on prosecuting violent crimes, gaining a reputation as a tough, ambitious prosecutor. Her work on sexual abuse cases involving children was particularly noted, and it underscored her commitment to victim advocacy. Kamala's early career as a prosecutor, however, sowed the seeds of controversy that would follow her through her career. Critics argue that she took a hardline stance on crime, which some believe was too aggressive for a city with a progressive community. Yet, Kamala defended her approach as a necessary balance between being tough on crime and advocating for fair justice, especially for those marginalized by the system. Political ambitions and rise to prominence. Kamala Harris's formal political career began in earnest when she ran for San Francisco District Attorney in 2003. She won the election, becoming the first woman, Black, and South Asian American to hold the role. Her tenure as district attorney was marked by a blend of progressive initiatives and strict law enforcement measures, creating a unique blend of policies that gained both praise and critique. One of her most notable achievements during this time was the Back on Track program, an initiative designed to reduce recidivism by offering job training, education, and support for first-time drug offenders. This approach earned her praise as a reform-minded prosecutor, and it would become a model for similar programs nationwide. However, Kamala also pursued aggressive policies on truancy, pushing for legislation that penalized parents if their children missed school without valid reasons. This measure drew criticism, with some arguing that it disproportionately affected low-income families and those in marginalized communities. California Attorney General. The next step. Kamala's success as San Francisco District Attorney positioned her well for her next campaign. California Attorney General. She was elected to this position in 2010, becoming the first Black and South Asian woman to serve as Attorney General of California. As the state's top law enforcement officer, she handled cases involving consumer protection, environmental law, and criminal justice reform. A defining moment in her tenure was the mortgage crisis, where she negotiated a $20 billion settlement with 5 major banks to assist homeowners affected by the crisis. Kamala's stance against predatory lending practices showcased her commitment to economic justice, but she faced pushback for not pursuing more aggressive action against banks. Her tenure as Attorney General also involved decisions that would later spark criticism. For instance, she supported state enforcement of the death penalty, despite her personal opposition to it, arguing that she was obligated to uphold the law. She also faced criticism for her stance on several sentencing reforms, leading to questions about her commitment to broader criminal justice reforms. Journey to the U.S. Senate. In 2016, Kamala Harris ran for and won the U.S. Senate seat vacated by Barbara Boxer, becoming California's junior senator. As a senator, Kamala made a name for herself as an outspoken critic of the Trump administration and a strong advocate for progressive policies. She served on several high-profile committees, including the Senate Judiciary and Intelligence Committees, and became known for her pointed questioning of Trump administration officials. Kamala's tenure in the Senate helped her build a national profile, particularly through her vocal support for issues like Medicare for all, environmental justice, and immigration reform. Her views on criminal justice began shifting more visibly to the left, aligning her with progressives like Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Elizabeth Warren. Kamala supported the legalization of marijuana and opposed private prisons, signifying a shift from her previous positions as a prosecutor. Her time in the Senate would ultimately set the stage for her bid for the presidency in 2019. The 2019 presidential campaign. Kamala's 2019 presidential campaign was initially met with enthusiasm, and she was viewed as a strong candidate capable of bridging moderate and progressive Democrats. However, her campaign was plagued by challenges, including criticism for her lack of a clear stance on healthcare. Kamala initially supported Medicare for all, but later adjusted her position to advocate for a more moderate path that included private options. This perceived inconsistency weakened her support among progressive voters, and her campaign ended before the primary season. While her presidential campaign didn't succeed, it paved the way for her role as Joe Biden's running mate. In 2020, Biden selected Kamala as his vice presidential candidate, making her the first woman, the first black person, and the first South Asian American on a major party's ticket. Her selection energized a broad base of voters, and the Biden-Harris ticket's victory was historic, shattering numerous barriers and inspiring people from all walks of life. As Vice President. Responsibilities and challenges. As Vice President, Kamala Harris has taken on a variety of high-profile roles. One of her primary assignments has been addressing the root causes of migration from Central America, a complex task involving diplomatic engagement, economic initiatives, and addressing corruption in the region. Her approach has faced mixed reviews, with critics arguing that her efforts haven't yet yielded measurable improvements in the immigration situation. Kamala has also been tasked with championing voting rights amid nationwide debates on voting access and election laws. This issue has been a challenging one, as the Biden administration has faced obstacles in passing federal legislation on voting rights. Additionally, Kamala played a role in promoting COVID-19 vaccine distribution and addressing vaccine hesitancy, advocating for public health measures. Her role as vice president has placed her in a challenging position. While she is often asked to take on significant issues, her power to directly influence outcomes is limited, given the vice president's traditional role. Furthermore, she has faced intense media scrutiny and criticism from both political opponents and supporters who feel her office could do more. Policy stances. Domestic and foreign affairs. Kamala Harris's policy stances reflect a blend of progressive ideals and pragmatic approaches. On domestic policy, she supports criminal justice reform, immigration reform, and economic equity. However, her past as a prosecutor remains a point of contention among progressives, some of whom feel her actions as district attorney and attorney general were not sufficiently progressive. Kamala has expressed support for comprehensive health care reform, though her stance has shifted over time, reflecting a balance between progressive and moderate perspectives. In terms of foreign policy, Kamala Harris has largely aligned with Biden's stance, advocating for strategic alliances and emphasizing human rights. She has expressed strong support for NATO and the need for a collective approach to international security threats. Kamala's foreign policy experience, however, is relatively limited, and critics argue that her time as vice president has not provided her with sufficient opportunities to build a robust foreign policy platform. A look toward the future. Kamala Harris's future in American politics remains a topic of widespread speculation. While she has not announced plans to run for president in the future, her position as vice president makes her a likely candidate. Her tenure as vice president could serve as a springboard to higher office, but it also presents challenges, particularly if she continues to face criticism over her effectiveness. Kamala Harris embodies a unique blend of cultures, experiences, and ideologies. Her journey from a child of immigrants to the Vice President of the United States is nothing short of remarkable. As she continues her career, she remains a figure of both inspiration and scrutiny. Her influence on American politics, especially regarding issues like criminal justice reform, immigration, and healthcare, will likely endure for years to come.